Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I've grown into the person that I am today. Happy Monday. How are you guys doing? Are you having a fantastic beginning to your week? I hope so. I thought that I would break out the meditation book today, The Language of Letting Go by Melody Beatty, the companion book to Codependent No More. If you've never read Codependent No More, I would highly, 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 highly recommend it. It profoundly changed my life. And this is the companion meditation book to it, The Language of Letting Go. And then the other meditation book by Melody Beatty that I read sometimes is Journey to the Heart, and both of them are fantastic. But I thought that I would go in here today and see what today's meditation is. It is September 15th. Oh, it's the 16th. It's September 16th. Let's go in here and see what the meditation is for today. I pulled right to September. Okay. Well, yesterday's was Getting Through the Hard Times, so I might read that one. And today's is Revenge. Which one should I read first? Should we do Revenge? Let's do Revenge. This would be interesting. Revenge, September 16th. No matter how long we've been recovering, no matter how solid our spiritual ground, we may still feel an overwhelming desire at times to punish or get even with another person. We want revenge. We want to see the other person hurt the way he or she has hurt us. We want to see life deal that person just rewards. In fact, we would like to help life out. Those are normal feelings, but we do not have to act on them. These feelings are part of our anger, but it's not our job to deal justice. We can allow ourselves to feel the anger. It is helpful to go one step deeper and let ourselves feel the other feelings, the hurt, the pain, the anguish. But our goal is to release the feelings and be finished with them. We can hold the other person accountable. We can hold the other person responsible, but it is not our responsibility to be judge and jury. Actively seeking revenge will not help us. It will block us and hold us back. Walk away, stop playing the game, unhook. Learn your lesson. Thank the other person for having taught you something valuable and be finished with it. Put it behind with the lesson intact. Acceptance helps. So does forgiveness. Not the kind that invites that person to use this again, but a forgiveness that releases the other person and sets him or her free to walk a separate path while releasing our anger and resentments. That sets us free to walk our own path. Today I will be as angry as I need to be, with a goal of finishing my business with others. Once I have released my hurt and anger, I will strive for healthy forgiveness with boundaries. I understand that boundaries, coupled with forgiveness and compassion, will move me forward. I think this is a really, really interesting meditation, this, conversation about anger, pain, hurt, and then revenge. And I think, like the book says, that revenge is a very normal thought pattern. I would be lying if I said that I've never thought about revenge in my life, or even in the last month or year. But the difference is that I don't act on it today. And that's kind of a process that I have to kind of work through, I think that it's very, very easy to look at people or situations that have hurt me. I was just talking about this. I think it was in a vlog the other day. Maybe it was a video over here where I was talking about that anger is a secondary emotion. And I really had to learn this through the years. I heard it early in recovery. I think maybe by a therapist or a friend. I don't even remember at this point. But I heard that anger was a secondary emotion, and that anger is really an emotion covering up other emotions. So when the book talks about you got to go deeper, what are the feelings and the emotions behind that anger? Well, often for me, it's hurt feelings, it's pain, it's, sadness. And so when I look at that, and also often for me, it's like a memory of being bullied in my youth, and it brings all that back up again. And, what I've kind of come to terms with in therapy, and a lot in therapy, and in, working in a 12-step program and things like that, is that, and my friend says this all the time, my friend Tanya says, hate and anger are not emotions that I have the luxury to have, because for me, they end in death, or they end in relapse, because I'm going to end up drinking again over that if I stay so angry. I don't really have the luxury for hate and anger in my life today. I just don't. And the other thing is that I think when I get consumed with situations in my life that often I have very little control over. If somebody doesn't like me, or somebody has done me wrong 10 or 20 years ago, and I'm still consumed with it today, or whether they did me wrong a week ago or a month ago, and I'm consumed with it today, it's very much like the saying, drinking poison, expecting the other person to die, right? Like, I'm really the one that's suffering over it. And in all honesty and in complete transparency, I have given so much of my life over to consuming my thoughts, thinking about people that have done me wrong in my past. Years of my life, I've done that, where I have been like, okay, I'm talking, I don't do it really today or as much today, but like 20 years ago, my first 10 years sober, I spent a lot of time thinking about exes of mine that had really mistreated me, or stuff that happened in my childhood, or people that bullied me, or people that just weren't nice to me. I mean, I spent a lot of time thinking about it because I think to some degree, I bought into the lie, I believed a lot of what those people were saying, that I wasn't a good person, that I wasn't a nice person, that I didn't deserve to be loved. I had people say that to me. I had like exes of mine when I was using say the most horrific things to me. And I believed it. I believed that, I believed that of all these years, 12 plus years of being bullied, that what that meant was that I deserved it somehow, that I was a bad person, that I wasn't a good person because I sounded different. I sounded more effeminate, or I walked a different way, or my interests were in different things, or I like to read books that mostly girls like to read instead of boys, or I didn't want to play football with the boys, I'd rather jump rope with the girls, and yet that made me this really horrible, nasty person, and I bought into that for a really long time, until I chose not to. And then when I chose not to, I got really angry, and because I had all these hurt feelings that I didn't know what to do with, right, and I almost kind of wanted to get revenge on these people, and then all this stuff happened, and then I started working through it with steps and stuff like that, and had in therapy before that. And then what happened was my high school bully reached out to me, and we sat down and we had this conversation, and he asked me for forgiveness, and I granted it to him, and I listened to his point of view of where he was at that point, and he asked me what I went through when I was in high school, and we became close, and we became friendly, and and it was good, and he gave me a lot of hope. And then recently, I saw that he had posted something that was very homophobic in nature, and basically insinuating that gay men deserve to be institutionalized and that it was a mental illness. And I was hurt again. I was hurt again because I trusted somebody and I believed in somebody that gave me hope that wasn't what they appeared to be. And I was really hurt about it, and I went to a really angry place. And I really thought about, like, I'm going to screenshot it, I'm going to post, and I thought, why are you doing this? And a lot of those conversations in my head today, I don't even need to have in therapy. I don't even need to have with my sponsor or with a support person. I know these things today, right? Like, what's my desire to do that? I think we all have the desire at some point in our life or another to tell on somebody that's wronged us, or tell on somebody that's hurt us. Like, if you just knew what this person did to me, or if you knew what they were like behind the others. Like, have you ever had somebody come to you and you're like, you want to tell on this person so bad because they've hurt your feelings, and you know that person has been talking bad behind that other person's back too, and you just want to unload it all, and sometimes you do, and you're like, well, they talk crap about you behind your back all the time too, and then you cause more pain, you cause more problems, right? I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't let that person know that they're being betrayed by their friend. I'm not saying that's a decision that you have to make, but I'm just saying, for me at some point, it's like the movie Postcards from the Edge. And Gene Hackman's having this conversation with Meryl Streep about her mother. And she says in there, she's complaining about her mother. And he says to her, and you can blame your mother, and she can blame her mother, and she can blame her mother, but at some point you have to stop blaming. And I think that's kind of where I'm at in my life right now, is that at some point, it's not about who's doing me wrong when, whether that was 10 hours ago or 10 years ago. It's like, I gotta live my best life today. I don't have to live in that. That's not, to be honest with you, one of the things that I've learned is that when I look back on when I haven't been nice to people, or when I have mistreated people in the past, or I have hurt people's feelings, it's really never about them. It really, if you look back on when you've not been the nicest person to somebody, in that moment, if you look back on it, what you'll say is, I was having a really bad day, or I had been having a bad year, or bad months, or I didn't believe in myself anymore, or I had such low self-worth. When I look at those moments in my life, those times in my life, I was in bad places in my life, I wasn't taking care of myself. I had no spiritual foundation. I didn't think I was worth anything. I didn't really care about myself, let alone anybody else. I didn't have the capacity to do that. I had no hope, I had a really bitter, angry, nasty attitude about everything. So it really never was about that person. It was really never personal. It was all about me. And so what I know today is that when other people hurt me, or when other people do me wrong, or say things that hurt my feelings, or say things that try to make me angry, or say things that cause pain, or do things that cause pain, it's all about them. I'm just the medium. It really has nothing to do with me. And that actually gets me to a point of forgiveness a lot quicker, because it really has nothing to do with me. You know, I've had a lot of people come to me back in my life and say, I'm really sorry for how I treated you during a period of life. It wasn't because of you. It was because of this. And I've done the same thing, right? So what I know is that 90% of the time, 95% of the time, I'm not even in it. I'm not even about it. That's about somebody else's anger and pain, and they need to go work that out. And I'm just the way they're working that out. You know, because I've done that to people in my life before. They've just been the medium for it, you know. We call that, in real terms, we call that being somebody's punching bag. When you're just screaming and yelling at somebody because you're pissed off at the world. We've all done that. But I don't personalize that today. It's not about me, you know. It's not. I'm not in that at all. Really, you know. I'm not in that at all. I remember years ago, you know, watching this interview with Oprah and Maya Angelou, and Oprah was talking about how, you know, people were saying online stuff about her and Stedman and all this kind of stuff. And Maya said, but you're not in that. That has nothing to do with it. That's about them. You're not in that. That has literally nothing to do with you. It took me a long time to get that. About people that had hurt me in my past, people that bullied me in 3rd grade, people, exes that had hurt me. That was really more about them. I was affected by it. Yeah, absolutely. And I needed to work through that. But today, to live in a state of revenge and anger, and I'm going to prove something to somebody, and I'm going to prove them wrong, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to tell on somebody, it takes so much energy to live in the negative. I would rather, with the time that I have left on this planet, live in the positive. It's consuming. It's an emotional roller coaster. And I really, to be honest with you, I don't have the energy for it. So today I choose to live in love. And I hope that you do too. Anyway, I love you guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.